get to the topic of what our loves, what everything's about, like just to set off this whole entire podcast of like
of who we
what
are.
we are about, what we are
Yes.
as gamers, as people, because even outside of the gaming realms,
Yeah.
everyday life affects your gaming choices, what you do, how you like games, what you can play, what you can't play, and everything. So I think if they get a hold of all of it,
Okay.
it'd give them a better picture of what we're about and
So-
what we like and what we don't like.
So since you kicked that off, how about you start then? Like, what are you, when it comes to gaming,
Yeah.
what are you about? What defines JJ?
I am, I think, at the core, stuck in my ways of what I used to play and what's irked me and what's opened my eyes in terms of gaming. I started out on the NES,
Yep.
played NES, played Super Nintendo, then played Nintendo 64, then went on to PC for the longest time,
Yep.
and then played Doom, Thief, Doom 2, Wolfenstein, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Diablo 2,
Okay.
that kind of stuff, to now mainly a console gamer.
So it's quite interesting. So you've got like basically quite a lot of generations in you.
Yes.
In terms of gaming, but you've also got several perspectives of gaming in terms of how it's evolved
Yeah.
and stuff like that, right?
I could say.
Yeah, so that's quite cool. I mean, I've always, when I first met you, I could see that because, well, with my history of gaming, it's been a lot more current, I would say, kind of. Like, I had a Mega Drive and stuff like that. I was only about 6, but to be honest, gaming really kicked off for me around PlayStation 1 and Metal Gear Solid particularly, because I remember, my sister and I think my brother at the time, and we all went to like a 7-Eleven. And we got the PlayStation magazine, and it was the demo disc, and we had like Metal Gear Solid on there. And when we took that home and we played like that first like tanker mission or whatever it was, when you like come in underwater and then you come out, that was when I realized, oh my god, games are like a lot more than just jumping and breaking through stuff, like what I was doing with like Sonic back in the day. And from there, I always tried to like play games that were quite similar. Obviously, I'm a big, as you'll know on this channel going forward, huge Kojima fan. Boy, like straight up, this guy, and Suda51 actually, which I'm still hurt. Still hurt. I missed that interview, dude. Still hurt, man. It burns to this day because I was busy. I don't even know what was on that Comic-Con that time.
I don't know. I don't remember, but I do remember afterwards you were like, Suda51's here, and I was like, yes. And you're like, what? And I was like, how did you miss it?
Yeah, you're like, Ed, your boy, you missed your boy. And then I was like, what, who are you talking about? There's several boys that I have, but like, what do you call it? Like, who is this? And then I found out it was Suda51, and that was, that was hard. I'm going off on a tangent, but to be honest, those are like the two developers that I respect quite a bit, and kind of did at different times as well in PlayStation and in PlayStation 3 where I discovered their games, because Suda51, the first game was obviously No More Heroes, but I think I played the
No More Heroes.
Yeah, that was brilliant, but that was like I played like the remaster.
Yeah.
On PS.
I played the original.
Yeah. Oh, what, on the Wii?
Yeah.
Oh, on Nintendo.
I bought it the day it was out.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. And from then, those two were just like, my favorites. But yeah. So, well, yeah, you've explained a bit. Me, I'm definitely more current gamer. I'd say I dabbled in a lot more, but I'm PlayStation onwards, so up to PlayStation 4 now and stuff. So this channel will be a lot about PlayStation stuff. Obviously, JJ will be on here, and you're more Xbox, PlayStation
Xbox
as well.
Yeah,
and stuff
I play
like that.
PlayStation.
Yeah, but
Xbox mainly, yes, definitely.
yeah, and we play shooters. We play all runs the gamut. To be honest, I don't think there's a genre that exclusively that either of us don't play. No, really. Actually, that's a lot. Strategy games I don't really play.
Oh yeah, that is true. So strategy games. Yeah, I don't know. I've not touched for years since on the PC, since Command and Conquer. What else is in the Microsoft one? I always forget.
Oh, okay. Did you ever play XCOM?
Yes. The original's on the PC.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So XCOM was probably the last strategy-based game, but you can expect content around, Overwatch a lot. I'm a big Vanquish fan, so there'll be a video coming soon about that. I'm going to do a video about that. And, so I think that's us kind of in a nutshell. But, as we do more of these podcasts and stuff like that and these videos, you'll start to learn more about us anyway and what we love. And how our perception of gaming, I feel, is quite unique in the sense where it's quite broad.
Yeah, I would say
it covers, we're oldies now, and we've been around the block in gaming, and our tastes have changed. Even how we approach playing games has changed, actually. We've done quite a few interesting ways to kind of limit the amount of games that we play, but at the same time, weirdly enough, we discover things, so like new things in terms of games. So I think that will come across, and you'll start seeing more of that. So that's us in a nutshell on the GmG show that you'll be getting more of. Let's get down to business, though.
Yes.
And I think there's only one. I'm looking at the book. There's only one game I'm ready to talk about right now, dude.
Let's go.
And that's Overwatch.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I had show notes, but then I thought, we started drinking and I forgot. And then I had to rush doing like setup and stuff. Bear with me. It will get better. Quality thing of life. Yeah, it will get better.
Definitely.
But Overwatch, for the question I had for you, JJ.
Yeah.
With the current changes that have just gone live, like about a week ago now.
Sigma 222.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
The one question, which everyone I'm sure is asking as well, is what is the future of Overwatch now? Or more importantly, the state of the game now, compared to like how it was before. But what is the state of the game right now?
I think the state of the game is only going to get bigger. Is it going to be at its biggest? I don't know. But I think the 222 will bring a lot of players back. Mm-hmm. Will bring new players in. Okay. And also have a lot of the old school fans like us. You've been playing longer than I have. Mm-hmm. I've been playing for almost 2 years now. Mm-hmm. So like us, it'll have us happier. I know you were not such a fan of the 222. I was more of a fan of it because I kept telling you, like, I don't think they could patch goats out. I don't think they could patch a lot of the problems out. Yeah,
my biggest, I guess you could say reservation, because like I told you, I was more indifferent. I was 50-50. I wasn't, when they first announced 222, I wasn't like, this is definitely going to change the game, right? Because that's also a risky thing to assume, obviously.
Definitely.
And I still think it's still quite young to see if it will change the game in terms of how many people stick with it, how many people come back, whatever. But I was just on the fence. I wasn't too sure whether or not it was. But having, tested it out, my perspective is that I think it has and will change the game in a big way. Still don't know if that's going to be a positive or a negative, though. Like, for us, I think it's a positive, right? But for your average Joe that has been enjoying the chaos that was GOATs and stuff like that, would it really benefit them? I still think that remains to be seen.
Well, I don't know, because like me and you are not as high SR as everyone else.
Don't know our SR like.
But my daughter, who's a GM player, basically has said, on her state of view and her point of view, is
she's got a YouTube channel as well, right?
She does.
Okay, shout it out, man. Pimp her up.
I think it's Katie. I think it's Katie, but I could.
Okay. Katie, I'll leave it in the show notes.
We'll get it. We'll get it sorted out.
Yeah, in the description, you'll be able to. Demon Widow, right?
Yeah, Demon Widow, freaking amazing Anna. But she loved the character she played. She loved the style she played. But her and her mates who played in Open Contenders never got too much further than the first round of the playoffs. Hated playing GOATs. Mm-hmm. And I think a majority of the streamers that I've seen, the majority of the people that I've watched, and the majority of the things that I saw hated GOATs. They loved winning, hated GOATs, but it became a mundane, boring 6 people that's a play, different variations of it, but barely change from that. But I think at the higher ends, all the way to the lower ends, I think it's going to do wonders. I think it's going to do absolutely brilliantly. I think this is how the game was meant to be played from the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. I think. I mean, I don't agree. It's supposed to be how the game was played from the beginning, because that's a hard thing to really say, because everyone was okay with certain things that are different now. But how are you ever going to know that 222 was needed until you went through the growing pains of the state of the game? But yeah, hindsight's always 2020. So I guess in that sense, you can say that you're like, oh, this definitely should have been there from the start, because people wouldn't have known any different. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think we both share that sentiment now. My other question on top of that, in terms of Overwatch and the fact that they've integrated this, is what else do you think they can do with the game in terms of, like, is there anything else that's burning inside you that you feel it needs, or do you think it's actually at that sweet spot? If a game ever gets there, like.
No, I don't think it's at a sweet spot, but I do think there's definitely room, like with a game like Overwatch.
So after 3 years, you don't think?
No, I think there's more to come, and I think Blizzard know that, and I think the fans know that, and I think the fans are eager for the changes quicker, but the developers don't necessarily need to give the fans what they want. They just need to give the juice. They need to give those golden nuggets of DLC and drops that bring people back, like the 222 and Sigma. Like sometimes it's not us fans looking for a massive dramatic change. Don't need it, because when we ask for it and it comes, for example, Brig, then the whole entire freaking game complains.
Yeah, that's true.
And it doesn't need to do that. So Brig was not necessarily, we're not bashing on her, but as Jeff said, it is a meta changer, and he was right. Yeah. And then it become something amalgamated into something that no one liked. So I do think the game doesn't necessarily always have to completely redefine as this current update patch that's going to go live on September 1st. It's going to do, but I just hero releases. I think probably the only thing I would say is change up the seasonal events, and I think that's what everyone else is saying. I think
make them a bit more substantial.
Yeah, do something different. I do like the little, like the micro kind of like win 9 games and get a free skin, stickers.
Make it a bit more gamey, the actual progression.
Yeah, like give us the progression to make it worth it, and the grind.
I wanted to just go back to your point about when you brought up Brig, actually, because my question in terms of like what they could do more and stuff like that spawns from me thinking that you have, like, Brig came about because there was an issue. 222 came about because there was an issue with the game, not necessarily because they implemented a change and no one like foresaw it. People were crying out for this for like some time, right? But now that we've kind of got everything that people were crying about, what else, like, so, because that's why I think the game is at a sweet spot, to be honest. I think literally they've ticked off most boxes that people were just like, the game doesn't have this is why Overwatch is trash, right? But now we have those things. But do you think Blizzard will slow down or increase? Because I personally feel that it might be room now for them, like an opportunity for them to become really complacent, although it's not really an opportunity. They shouldn't, but I feel they've given everyone everything that they could have asked for, unless I'm missing certain features, but everyone wanted roll queue, everyone wanted like 222 and stuff like that, with or without goats. That was, you're right, something that was probably always going to happen. Do you think that this could mean that they might slow down in terms of characters and stuff like that?
No.
Okay, so you actually think the output might increase?
No, I don't think the output's going to increase, and I think from what they said, but I don't think the output is going to decrease. I think there's rumors of an Overwatch 2, but it's a PvE, so it's people versus PvE kind of game. I think people are crying out now for that, kind of like a more story-based mode, more story So more story. Like people are crying out now for Zin. They want the Zin backstory.
Okay,
They want freaking more story kind of content. Like I don't understand as well. Like the only thing I really don't understand, which is why I don't say it's a sweet spot, is how is the archives events and the freaking and the little story-based missions, why aren't they in the game all the time? Like, cycle
that's
them.
true.
Even put like the same one or two for a couple of months.
Well, I think we've got like Bungie to like thank for that whole cycle. That is one thing that I would never ever, in the history of game design, I don't think I'll ever look back and say that makes sense, rotating things, right? Yeah, like I bet there's people screaming right now what I just said, but the reason why I say that is like, if people are enjoying a particular mode or a particular thing that you've introduced in your game, why would you take that away? Because all that does is get that person to say, right, I'm going to stop playing your game now, which with a game like Overwatch, you definitely don't want, right? So why, I still don't understand. Maybe you can explain it to me, maybe someone in the comments will, but I just don't get how restricting what you love can, what a player loves about your game can be a beneficial
We've always
thing.
talked about this, and I think we look at the games, especially Overwatch, we look at it completely different lights. Like, I have talked to and I've grinded my grindstone on a lot of versus AI to learn. And I know a lot of people in the comments are like, you're foolish, you're this. And the beauty of a game like Overwatch, its biggest strength and its biggest weakness to fans, not necessarily the game design, is the choice. So, like I've talked to you about this, and we'll talk about it in other shows and other bits, but about how someone instantly degrades someone for having 1,000 hours on sim playing versus AI. And I think this game was never meant to boast about things in terms of look at my ass or look at this. It was a game about enjoyment. But every game basically is.
So you don't think it was something to, but having a number by or your rank or whatever is literally personal. There to boast.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's just a personal thing of like, I want to climb, I want to get this. Like they've made it is like you're never going to get the game design like this, but they've made it to a point where like you can say you're SR and it's worn as a badge. But then some people will instantly say, well, you don't have a life, which isn't true.
Yeah.
You just may be good at the game.
Yeah.
So no matter how you look at it, there's always a debate. But then these set of people then instantly hark on to the people that want to play versus AI. And I think this is why, another reason why I don't think it is his sweet spot, because people that play versus the AI are left behind. Like, I don't even know if you know, but you can't even get all the characters in AI. Like, you can't have versus. Like, you could never versus a diva.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never played. I'm not gonna lie, I've never ever played.
You could never versus a tracer.
You can never.
No.
Okay.
And these kind of things, these simple things to help players. Like, we're not all Jonak, we're not all Prophet, we're not all this. Some people do not have the confidence to play this.
Yeah.
And I think as a community, it needs to not be us versus them. It needs to be we're all in it together as kind of a community. And I think
I agree.
Yeah, and I think the game kind of it's not bad game design, but I think the game could do more things for the people that don't have the confidence to play in competitive. Like me and you, were you there at the London versus Houston game? In London when they played.
What in the bar?
In Stratford. No, in Stratford when they actually came to play. Like the whole team came over.
No, I don't think. No.
Like it was interesting because like you'll find this out about this as well. But I found a 60-year-old woman who awesome. I thought she was
brilliant.
Yeah, I thought she was the mother of these two girls.
Yeah.
Or one of the girls at least. But she was like, no, I'm not the mother. I love the game.
Yeah.
And she goes, she almost felt ashamed to tell me she didn't play versus people. And I'm like, no, like, you're in it, we're in it together. Like, and I think you're never going to get rid of that. But I think the game can do more, and hence the story-based retribution, and these kind of things. It could cater to those fans.
I've got a question for you. Did you ask her why she plays versus AI?
She just thinks that she's not good enough. She just thinks that it's she's going to hinder the game, hinder her teammates, and she's going to get backlash, and she's going to get hate. either in the comments or voice.
I mean, she shouldn't ever feel like that.
No.
But also, I mean, this goes into a completely different topic that we always talk about as well. Is that you kind of have to go in with pre-made armor, I think, if you're going into an online space with gaming. Because, like, I'll be honest, versus AI, I mean, play the game however you want, but you are not experiencing Overwatch in any capacity, really, when you play versus AI, just because Overwatch is a game to be played with people and against people. It's not. Machines are predictable. People are not. So therefore, something like Overwatch makes, and then you've got all the other variables of characters, classes, comps, compositions, all of that stuff, and that's the beauty of it. But when you're playing against AI, that kind of goes away because you can kind of predict certain. You kind of can,
but you kind of do this. But then this is even up to the game designers, because if a game like Left 4 Dead can make you feel and it's true, because I played Left 4 Dead for years. Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, it's got the AI director mode. So it literally makes you feel like every game you play is different. The zombies come out different. The zombies act different. There's different enemies at different places and different locations.
True.
And it's no different to what you're doing in this map.
But I don't think it would ever. I don't think that type of experience will never equal if it was a human. No, because a human can play worse than a machine, right? But what makes that even quite cool is that you don't know how good this person's going to be. No.
But then
that can kind of create some level of that unpredictability of it.
This is also you've got to understand as a game designer is that you're going to have fans that play games the way that you didn't design it.
No, absolutely.
And they didn't design this to be versus AI, but they included it.
They did.
And then they
to kind of get your feet wet, though, I think. And that's why I asked you, why does she not? Why does she choose not to play against people? And your reasons were more like social reasons, other than like the game itself. It was more because she's afraid that she cannot be as good or whatever. But she remove Overwatch. That is a problem that she would always be faced with every game that requires you to play with other people.
No doubt, but there must have been something in the community that we all have to own that made her feel like this.
Well, it's just people.
Yeah, I know, but
it's not. That's always an option in any aspect of life, right? That you will always have
you're always going to have haters, yes.
Yeah, well, no, you're not just necessarily haters. It's just human nature. And who are we to say that people, although you shouldn't hate, definitely, I would say hating is not a good thing, people. But what I would always say is that it's always good for you to what's the word I'm trying to look for? It's it's always good for you to go in with some sort of armor against how anyone can act. Because if you don't, and I don't want to be harsh, but why are you playing a game that actually you're going to be playing with other people? Because then you're almost like saying, wrap me in cotton wool, because I don't want. That's something that everyone has to overcome. Like children have to. When you take a child to school, it's your first day at school. Yeah. That child never ever knows what everyone else is going to think of the person. Right?
No, it is. But I mean,
and this is of them. Sorry, and how do you deal with that? Or how do you teach your child to go in and be like, look, it doesn't matter what people are going to think. And you're going to come across assholes, you're going to come across nice people, you're going to come across in between, but don't let that discourage you from what you want to do. And because if she was to tell that, if I was to speak to that woman, if I was to meet her and she was to say that, the first thing I'd say is, you don't need to feel like that. Play a game with me or with some of my friends, and you'll start to realize that you have the control over your enjoyment, not someone else. You know what I mean? And I think, you're right. There is a responsibility on people to be nice to each other and whatever. But the reality is that not everyone is nice. Yeah. But that should never stop you from enjoying an environment or playing a game, whatever it is that you love to do. That shouldn't get in the way of any game. And I don't think Blizzard need to worry about that too much, because it's policing society.
You don't have to worry about the sense of the fans. But what I'm saying is, you need to cater to these fans that you've given taste to. It's fine saying you've made the AI and that's it. but to leave it as is, knowing you've got a massive crowd. Because as much as there's millions that are playing it and the millions to do it, there's millions that are playing versus AI only.
No, I can imagine.
And there's that, and they need to kind of cater to that as well. And that's as simple as that. So even if, because some people don't want to put the armor to play a game, some people just want to play the game with teammates, and she does, like, it goes even further than that, because it goes even more to the sense of she plays in the team already. They could chat to her and they could talk to her anyway, but I think she feels more of the team that she's with. She's not disappointing because it's only that aspect. I think there's more to that lady than there. But my thing about the sweet spot is that, I think the game can cater to more people, not necessarily that are afraid to play the game, but that don't want to play the competitive mode and want to play the story mode. And there's people that log in specifically just to play the seasonal events.
Yeah, no, that's true. And literally, like, some people just go on there to, like, buy a skin that they like and then log out. For some time, I was even like that, to be honest. Like, when I was having my, like, 1 month away from Overwatch, because it was depressing me and, all sorts of things. But I would just say, like, if I see an event that's cool and I see a skin I like, I'll just jump on and and that was still good. I understand what you're saying. There are people that, and you can play it however you want. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you play versus AI and you shouldn't or whatever, but I know how beautiful this game is. And I think if you allow yourself, if your problem is because of other people and how they might perceive how good or bad you are, just go with it. Because I have to do it. Look, I was playing earlier on today. How many people did I have tell me? Well, one guy go kill yourself, and another guy saying get off Ryan, I can Ryan better, and all of these things, right? And that never affected me. Yeah, people say it's a game, but it's still a human on the other line, on the other end. So of course, you might take that to heart. And this goes back to what I'm saying about it's good that you go in understanding with these multiplayer games, whatever it is, that you have that shield. This person does not control you in any way, and you can do whatever you want to do.
No, definitely.
It does. Overwatch absolutely brings out the natural instincts in humans. I would say in people, but that's also a beautiful thing. I think we covered Overwatch. I think moral of the story is, guys, play what you want, but try and play quick play.
Yes, give quick play a try, definitely.
Don't go into comp if you can, because if you can avoid comp, I would. Definitely, I would avoid comp.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for watching that, guys. Also, apologies for the audio. My PS4 was on whilst we were recording this. It sounds like a jet engine. Won't be on in the next episode, trust me. But like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and if you have any comments for any future episodes, like topics that you want me to discuss or anything like that, be sure also to DM me on Twitter or leave that in the comments. But once again, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care of yourselves.